Tonight, concerns deepen. Liquor store shelves across the Peace region starting to look empty. Overdose deaths. 5 British Columbians a day die from toxic drugs. An annual tradition. The Nalakan Center hosts Thanksgiving dinner. Well, good evening and thank you very much for joining us. And we begin tonight with liquor stores across the Peace region starting to show the effects of the public sector workers' strike. The ongoing job action by the BCGEU has brought liquor store distribution to a standstill right across the province. Now the manager at the George Dawson Liquor Store says her store has been busier since the closure of BC liquor stores, but in the long run, she will not be able to keep her customers happy.
Our sales are up, we're seeing more people come in, but now our shelves are emptying very quickly.
Drover says she feels the frustration from her customers. That's because some only drink a specific kind of liquor and won't settle for a different brand. She says vodkas like Smirnoff and Alberta Pure and whiskeys such as Weiser Deluxe have been hit the hardest. Drover hopes the province and the Public Workers Union can come to agreement soon. Now, in the past, the union has taken down picket lines for a few days, but they say the government has taken advantage of that generosity.
Of my membership to take down any lines as under the rubric of good faith is about zero.
That leaves millions of dollars worth of inventory parked in warehouses. Now, for every week that the strike lasts, it takes about a month to get the product moving again. Drover says the George Dawson is more fortunate than other liquor stores because they do sell a lot of variety. Well, over 300 British Columbians died from toxic drugs over a 2-month period this summer. British Columbia's coroner service says 153 people died in July. Another 149 deaths occurred in August. Now, that amounts to almost 5 people a day. Those numbers are up slightly from the previous 2 months. During the same 2-month period, 3 people in northeast British Columbia died from illicit drugs. More than 2/3 of this year's death have been from people between the ages of 30 and 59. Almost 80% of those deaths were men. Fentanyl remains the most common substance found during testing. Well, turkey, ham, and mashed potatoes on the menu today. The Nalakan Bergewin Youth and Cultural Center hosting the annual Thanksgiving dinner. And Executive Director Sheena Hoff says the event brings the community together at a time when people should not be alone.
It's great for them to get out and be around people and not cooped up in the houses and just feel like they have family and friends.
Volunteers and staff working hard, serving up to 200 people throughout the day. The event was filled with smiles and laughter, and Hoff says the majority of ingredients were donated by local businesses and farmers. She says without them, the wonderful dinner wouldn't have been possible. The province is preparing to begin its annual vaccine rollout next week as another respiratory virus season is set to get underway. Appointments for both flu and COVID-19 shots will begin on October the 14th. Starting with those at the highest risk of severe illness. Both vaccines are available in BC for free for anyone older than 6 months. Notifications with a booking link started to be sent out earlier this week and will continue into the month of November. The BC Conservative Party confirming they've searched the phones of their MLAs looking for someone who may have leaked internal information to the media. Leader John Rostad says the phones of Conservative MLAs were searched earlier this week, and he says they wanted to make sure no inappropriate information had gotten out from the party's caucus. Rostad adds the search took place at Monday's caucus meeting and did not turn up anything concerning. He says the vast majority of his party MLAs agreed to the search. Rostad says searching phones is not something the party is prepared to do on a regular basis. It looks like mail will begin flowing again even while the mail strike remains unresolved. A national walkout by Canada Post workers will be replaced with rotating strikes starting tomorrow. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers says the move will allow Canadians to get their mail while it continues to work towards securing a collective agreement. The announcement comes the day after the union met with the federal minister responsible for Canada Post. A follow-up meeting has reportedly been scheduled for sometime next week. The Prime Minister is weeks away from unveiling his first federal budget. Today, Mark Carney revealing a few things in it he says will help Canadians. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
Today, the Prime Minister took a long-promised step towards ensuring all Canadians are fully covered under this country's social safety net. Starting next year, the Canada Revenue Agency will automatically file taxes for low-income individuals.
This program will pay out hundreds of millions of dollars in benefits in the next few years that would otherwise be left unclaimed.
The Liberals are also making a pilot program that provides food to schools nationwide permanent, and are renewing the Canada Strong Pass, making museums, parks, and train tickets cheaper for a month over the December holidays and again for summer 2026.
Since no one can possibly experience all that Canada has to offer in just a few short months.
The announcement, the start of a political communication strategy.
Today was a preview of some of the things we're going to see in the next federal budget.
There's going to be more good news, trust me.
That was exactly my question.
Trust me.
But not all see it as good news.
They're printing cash to pay for their out-of-control spending.
Today, the government couldn't say why the years-old Liberal promise to make tax filing easier hadn't been acted on sooner, or why it'll take until 2028 to fully implement it.
I mean, we can talk all day about why something didn't happen in 2023 or 24 or 22, what have you, but I know certainly moving forward in this budget, 25, 26, 27, we have ambitious goals.
The Prime Minister said these measures will be considered operational rather than capital expenditures, a new distinction this government intends to make in its budgets. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
And at the same press conference today in Ottawa, Rachel also asked the Prime Minister if he believes Canada needs another pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast.
This government believes in nation-building projects, which can, in both clean and conventional energy. Those projects have several characteristics: material economic benefits, linking together different parts of our economy, consistency with our climate objectives, and benefits and participation for Indigenous peoples. So those elements coming together can come together in a pipeline to the West Coast. Depends on the specific proposal.
Are you at all considering repealing either the tanker ban or the emissions cap, yes or no?
It depends. What this government is interested in is in results.
Earlier this week, a war of words between the premiers of BC and Alberta erupted. David Eby slammed Alberta's push for the new pipeline, something Danielle Smith called un-Canadian. Well, a major surprise for the Canadian economy. An unexpected 60,000 jobs were added last month, but with the unemployment rate steady at just over 7%, it's a good reminder to focus on the longer-term trends. Well, CTV's Adrian Goberel with why the increase in manufacturing jobs is no reason for celebration.
This particular unit here.
Inside Rudy Pasquini's stainless steel banding company, the pride he has for his self-made small business is evident.
We're the only ones in Canada that actually do this. We've been doing it since about 2001.
Though his plans to hire have been put on hold after multiple U.S. clients put the brakes on their orders from his Canadian company.
We had a deal cooking in the U.S. that would have probably brought in about $9 million U.S. dollars. And because of the tariffs, it's all been put on hold.
Canada's unemployment rate, not including the pandemic, held at the 9-year high posted in August. Yet the country's economy also posted a net gain of 60,400 jobs in September, led by manufacturing, which accounted for nearly half of the spike in employment. Though the uptick in manufacturing positions isn't being felt across the board.
Adrian, if we had that U.S. business and there were no tariffs, we would have expanded our operation by at least 10 more people.
The news is especially bleak for those trying to enter the job market. Unemployment among youth and young adults aged 15 to 24 increased to 14.7% in September, the highest it's been in 15 years.
Anytime the labor market has slacked, young people tend to bear the brunt of it.
The modest employment increase in September was also led by full-time work, according to Statistics Canada.
Here at Band and Go, Rudy Pasquini is calling on more recognition for the manufacturing sector and a renewed understanding of its ability to grow Canada's GDP and power job growth. Adrian Goberel, CTV News, Vaughan, Ontario.
Well, stateside now, where at least 19 people are missing and feared dead after a massive blast at a military explosives facility in Tennessee. The sound of the blast was caught on camera this morning an hour southwest of Nashville. Residents reported hearing the explosion up to 30 kilometers away. There was major damage at the site and the surrounding area. Crews from multiple law enforcement agencies are still searching through the rubble. The local sheriff says it's the most devastating thing he has ever seen. A ceasefire is now in effect in Gaza, approved earlier today by the Israeli cabinet. And as CTV's Kamel Karamali reports, there's now a tense calm in the region as we wait for the release of both Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners.
Although other ceasefires have failed, there's hope that this one will be longer lasting. Mass movement on the ground in Gaza. Hours after Israel's government approved a ceasefire plan early Friday, ratifying the first phase of a peace deal with Hamas. Thousands of Palestinians making the trek from the south of the Strip north to Gaza City, what was once a city of roughly 1 million people reduced to rubble. Families returning to what's left of their homes. Fida Hara searching for a mattress, even a pillow. Because winter is coming, she says, but she doubts she'll find anything. Israeli forces seen withdrawing from parts of the enclave, troops now stationed behind a line of agreement.
But it is still in Gaza. So there is a tremendous amount of work to be done.
The next 3 days crucial to the success of this deal. Israel has agreed to release 250 Palestinians locked up in prison cells and another 1,700 detainees. While Hamas has agreed to release 48 Israeli captives, 20 of them still believed to be alive, and a deadline to return them by Monday.
The Red Cross will be intimately involved in trying to facilitate the exchange of Palestinians and Israelis. There will be a lot of discussion on the ground about what routes they will take.
Starting today, about 600 humanitarian aid trucks are also expected to enter Gaza daily after the United Nations had declared a famine nearly 2 months ago.
This aid is life-saving and we need to see it get in immediately.
This first phase, part of U.S. President Donald Trump's 20-point plan, with U.S. troops touching down in Israel to monitor the ceasefire, while U.S. President Donald Trump will arrive in Israel on Monday and is set to address Israeli parliament and convene world leaders for a summit.
Despite President Trump's quest for the prestigious honor, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to the leader of the opposition in Venezuela.
Maria Corina Machado, for her tireless work promoting democratic rights.
Machado currently lives in hiding and refuses to leave the country of Venezuela. She was lauded for being a key unifying figure in a once deeply divided opposition to the Nicolas Maduro government. Machado was blocked by Venezuela's courts from running for president against Maduro, who has been in power since 2013. In response to the announcement, the White House communications director did not hide the Trump's administration's disappointment, saying, quote, "The Nobel Committee proved they placed politics over peace." All right, stay tuned. Noah will be right back after the break with a look at your long weekend weather.